Hello, my name is Sally Newton. I'm an English and media teacher.
Cool. What is your experience with the short films?
My only experience with short films really is teaching them. I might watch something if it was on TV as well.
Okay, so have you actually seen many short films before?
I've seen a few for like educational purposes, so BFI give us freebies of filming shorts, they're usually called.
Okay,
so.
yeah. How well do you feel this film will address the issue of body image?
I think it will really address the issue of body image. Obviously it's about a young dancer who, it's pretty clear in other films that I've seen about dancing, they're obsessed, and also on something like Strictly Come Dancing, they're obsessed with body image.
Yeah.
And young people, young girls in particular are as well. So.
Excellent. Did you understand the reference that she was anorexic?
Yes, I got that.
Good. Our intended target audience is young, mature adults, and we also think that it will be more appropriate to a female audience. However, a male audience may also be able to relate to the issue. Do you feel this short film will be appropriate for the intended target audience?
Yeah, definitely. I think that anorexia is something that massively relates to young people. It's something that is talked about a lot at school, on television programmes like Super Size vs Super Skinny, and in quite a lot of films aimed at young people. So Black Swan came out, which is about a dancer and she suffered from eating problems. So.
Okay, do you feel you can either empathise or sympathise with the protagonist?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Perhaps more sympathise than empathise. I'm quite lucky in the sense that I haven't had an eating disorder. I think that everybody has issues with their body image. Perhaps more so when I was younger than now, particularly if you're in a competitive environment like dancing or at school where you're surrounded by lots of other young people. You can really sympathise with people having issues with body image, but as I say, I'm lucky I've not had an eating disorder.
Okay. Can you suggest any improvements to the storyline?
I wonder, I do like the ending. I really like it when things go badly, horribly wrong with an ending. But is there any kind of hope in her story? Because if you're aiming it at young people, are you just saying that it's the end of the world if you're a dancer and you're not really skinny? Could there be... Could it be shown that it's really that she's traumatised and she has a serious problem, rather than, you know, perhaps a more positive message could come out of it somewhere?
Cool.
I wonder.
How appropriate do you feel the ending of the film is in relation to the rest of the film?
I feel that the ending is really appropriate because you can see that if she's suffered from a traumatic past and she's had psychological issues, then I do appreciate that she might then go on to commit suicide. It happens with young people all the time, and you read about it in the news and you hear stories of young people who it's just become too much for. So it definitely is an appropriate ending. Might be a bit bleak for the target audience, though.
Okay, what is your experience with short films?
I've seen a couple, seen a few things by like Paddy Considine and people like that. So,
okay.
Yeah, a few short films.
And where did you see the short films, do you know?
I've bought DVDs before with them on, and sometimes on Channel 4 we used to run the art screenings.
Yeah, okay. How well do you feel this film will address the issue of body image?
Yeah, really well, actually. I think it does a really good job of kind of highlighting issues with like anorexia and bulimia.
Yeah. So you understood the fact that she was anorexic?
Yeah, completely, yeah.
Good.
I think the collarbone scene is important for that.
Cool. How appropriate do you feel the ending of the film is in relation to the rest of the film?
I do think it's I think it's extremely important. The way that it's done is particularly well. I think it's a very bleak image to put forward. It might be nice maybe to suggest that things could get better, but I completely understand why you're going down that route. It's meant to be shocking.
So do you feel it's an effective ending?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it would shock an audience.
Yeah, cool. Our intended target audience is young, mature adults, and we also think that it will be more appropriate to a female audience. Mm-hmm. However, a male audience may also be able to relate to the issue. Do you feel this short film will be appropriate for the intended target audience?
By and large, yes. I think that there will be maybe some kind of reluctance from males to go and watch a film based around ballet. Might not be the best way of looking, but it depends on who's playing the role, I guess, or something like that. I think obviously it would probably have be more relevant for females because anorexia and bulimia tend to be more prevalent amongst them. But yeah, I think it could be relevant to both groups.
Yeah. Okay. Do you feel you can either empathise or sympathise with the protagonist?
I'd say I can definitely sympathise, but having not been through it myself, I find it difficult to empathise.
Yeah. Okay, and can you suggest any improvements to the storyline so far?
Like I say, maybe just get some things in there that are maybe more appropriate for a male target audience, but I don't know how you do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thanks a lot.
No problem.
Hi, my name's Will.
So, Will, what is your experience with short films?
Well, I take media as an A-level, so that kind of encompasses short films, and I haven't actually seen any, but I would like to in the future.
Okay, so you've never actually seen a short film before, or you don't think you have? Okay. How well do you think our film will address the issue of body image?
I think really well, because obviously you've got the way she's kind of really thin, and it's kind of her portrayal of kind of how she feels and the way she's kind of like put across. She's kind of quite vulnerable almost, and she does this amazing dance, and she's really like kind of not on top of the world, but kind of really like elated. But then she kind of the crumbling of her kind of body. And
okay, so do you think it portrays any message to the audience?
You can kind of be visibly strong, but mentally quite weak and unstable. Almost.
Okay. Do you understand how the ending of the film fits into the rest? Why she kills herself?
Yeah, because she kind of is kind of weighed down and kind of like with this really bearing weight of what she needs to be and how she needs to look and act, and kind of all this effort she needs to put in, and she kind of feels herself almost not slipping, but kind of there's too much to kind of cope with.
Yeah, and do you think this is an effective end to the short film?
Yeah, very. Yeah, it's really quite powerful. Obviously, the way she kills herself is really kind of gripping and kind of quite kind of real almost, because it is possible. Like it is a possible thing to do.
Okay, our intended target audience is young, mature adults, and we also think it would be more appropriate to a female audience. However, a male audience may also be able to relate to the issue. How do you feel this short film would be appropriate for the intended target audience?
Well, it's kind of showing that like this person is kind of really kind of like beautiful and kind of almost complete on the outside, but she has deep psychological kind of mental issues on the inside, which I suppose everyone can really relate to. It's something they're kind of hiding or trying to keep away, kind of keep up their kind of image, which is kind of obviously a really big of part of society in the kind of current times. So I think it would be quite good, especially young people who try and keep up appearances and kind of try and be the best they can be. But obviously it's quite difficult and hard to maintain. So.
Yep. Do you feel you can either empathise or sympathise with the protagonist?
Yes, as I said, it is quite hard to kind of maintain image and trying to keep up appearances and kind of be the best you can be, and it is kind of a part of society and life at the minute, and trying to maintain all of these kind of aspects of who you are and kind of what you are as other people view you is kind of quite difficult. And
yeah, good. Can you suggest any improvements to our storyline?
I think it's quite complete the way it is, the way it kind of ties in with the flashback. I'm not sure how you'd kind of make it quite clear. At first I was obviously I was only looking at the storyboard, but I was a bit unsure how it kind of worked out. But I think it's really good.
Awesome. Okay, thank you, Will.
Right, our target audience is young, mature adult.
Yeah, I am.
Right.
We'll say that in there,
Right.
it's part of the question.
Yeah, I know, but don't
Right.
laugh.
Okay, Nefti, what is your experience with short films?
But I find them usually quite funny, usually, or like you always remember them when you see them again.
Yeah, so you have seen a short film in the
Yes, I
past?
have.
You have, yeah. Okay, how well do you feel this film will address the issue of body image?
Yeah, it's quite you'd kind of expect it, wouldn't you? Like, for the dancer, they have to be a certain size.
Mm. So you think that the theme of the dancer goes well with the theme of body image?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. How appropriate do you feel the ending of the film is in relation to the rest of the film?
It's an extreme case scenario, but it's a good one because it shows that people do get really upset about their body image.
Do you think it's an effective ending?
Yeah, definitely.
Good. Our intended target audience is young, mature adults, and we also think that it will be more appropriate to a female audience.
Yeah.
However, a male audience will be able to relate to the issue. Do you feel the short film will be appropriate for the intended target audience?
Yeah, I think it would be more aimed at females though. 'Cause
Yeah.
mine is really...
Yeah. Okay. Do you feel you can either empathise or sympathise with the protagonist?
I think if you're skinny, just eat.
Yeah.
You should just eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't relate to the character very well.
Not really.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. Can you suggest any improvements to the storyline?
Maybe you should give it a bit of a twist.
The twist.
A bit more of a twist.